yeah, it's just very nice to be here. Yeah.
And you've played the course a couple of times since arriving here earlier this week. Are there any differences compared to July?
Well, it's softer fairways than in July. Greens are about same firmness. Greens are rolling great. In the rough is some of the really long stuff is gone, but it's a little bit greener the whole course. So it probably emphasizes even better shots off the tees. Into the greens, it plays similar to July.
And when you were last here, you were here as an individual. Now you're here as part of Team Europe. What's the atmosphere like in that team room?
Well, it's great. All the guys are great, and it feels bigger than obviously than the team events I played in the past, Eurasia Cup or Royal Trophy. You still want to win those things very badly, but this is different. Yeah.
Thanks for your opening remarks, Alex. Open it up to questions. Mic 3, please.
Alex, obviously the Ryder Cup gets a huge build-up. We make a great big deal about it. Has it lived up to expectations so far for you? Is it what you were expecting?
Yeah, I mean it was. It's hard to know how big it's gonna be and how, but it's, put aside all the expectations from outside. The teams really want to win this, and you can feel that, and everybody around the team, and then I try to take away all the expectations from outside and the crowds and everything. It's great, it's great that everybody here wants Europe to win, but it's easier to go kind of in the team and within yourself and try to just take it as a golf tournament and try to perform, and kind of train that way and prepare that way. Yeah.
On your left on mic 1, please, Alex.
Alex, entering the last French Open, you were already very likely to make the European team. How much of a gain of confidence did it give you to win the French Open on the course that was going to host the Ryder Cup?
Well, a lot, and it's a totally different thing playing as a team and as an individual. But as I said, it's nice to be at a course where I've done well, especially last 3 years. And it gives me confidence, like you don't have to play maybe perfect shots all the time. This course is all about, patience, and I think it's an unbelievable match play course. Like we played the Eurasia Cup on a shorter course, a little bit wider course, and it's you're gonna win on birdies. Here it's gonna be, there are a lot of birdies out there, but you gotta hit great shots, and it's gonna be very interesting. I think how the matches play out on this golf course.
Mic 3, please.
Hi, Alex. The European team's got the last 2 winners of the French Open, yourself and Tommy. How significant is it, the fact that the Europeans know the course better? And is 3 days or maybe 3 or 4 days enough for the Americans to sort of a bit of a leveler to get them to know the course as well as the Europeans? Is 3 days enough?
Well, I think as it's set up now with a little bit softer fairways, it's more definite what you have to do. This summer, maybe you need to know it a little bit more when it's rolling that much on holes like 9, 12. You can hit, you have to hit less club than you think almost. And now it's more about looking in the yardage book, finding out, the flight of the drive, because it's very consistent how much the ball rolls. So I mean, in that perspective, you don't have to have as many practice rounds maybe as when it's firm, but overall, I think it's nice to come to a course when with this wind is probably this club, with this wind is this club. So I think it helps us, being a little bit more confident on, having played a lot of rounds here, how it plays, yeah, and what pins and all that. We've seen the whole place a lot of times.
Mic 4, Tim, please.
Alex, what's your take on those grandstands behind the first tee, and how are you preparing to hit a tee shot there?
Well, it's unbelievable coming down there. At the French Open, it's already a great atmosphere around that first tee, and yesterday you got a little bit of feel for what it could be, but it was not that many people in the actual grandstand. It was a lot of people around the tee. So Yeah, it's gonna be something else. Yeah.
Any more questions for Alex? Mic 3, please.
Alex, back over here. Sorry, forgive me, I should know this, but was Thomas your captain at the Eurasia Cup? Was
Yes.
that this year?
Yes.
How's he? He's not here, so you can tell us the truth. How's he doing as a captain, both at the Eurasia Cup and how's he doing this week?
Yeah, good. I think he's he really understands the playing side of it. He knows that I think the best chance for us to play good is to prepare the way we usually prepare, and he understands all that. And he's played I don't know how many Ryder Cups and being involved in how many I don't know exactly, but it feels like he understands how the week will play out and how much energy you have to put in, all so you don't maybe overdo it in the beginning and all that stuff. So I think that helps us a lot, that he's experienced in that way.
Mic 1 in the middle.
Hi, Alex. Couple of things. Am I right in thinking you have a baby on the way?
Yes.
The due date is not any time too soon?
No, it's in Christmas, so yeah.
And what's the atmosphere been like for you in the team room in terms of the banter we've heard about, the videos, the WhatsApp groups? Who have you really bonded with the most so far?
Well, I mean, I know most of the guys pretty well before, and I played more maybe with Fleetwood, Molinari, Stenson. When we play the same tournaments a lot, and Sergio, and but it's great to get to see the guys a lot more, and when I played more in America, I know Rose and those guys a little bit better, the guys who played both schedules, and yeah, but the WhatsApp group, it gets people together, and same with the videos. It's great. So, when you can make fun of each other, it always helps. Yeah.
Alex, thanks a lot for your time and
Thank you.
for the rest of the week.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. All good? Past. Finished a little early. Yeah. Torbjørn, welcome to the Media Centre. The last man to qualify for Team Europe just a few short weeks ago. Can you just describe your emotions after main in Denmark?
Yeah, it was a tough couple of weeks. I would say, especially in Denmark, just a different kind of pressure I haven't tried before. Really, I was trying just to think about winning the tournament and making a good result, but with the media and stuff, it was very difficult for me not to think about the Ryder Cup, and I found myself in that first round just too many thoughts in my head, and it was very difficult to play. But then it slowly got better and better, and I think it was just it was nice to know how I react in those situations. So I think it was a good learning experience, and obviously come Sunday afternoon and seeing that I actually qualified was very, very firstly relief, and then just very exciting, and really happy. And obviously Thomas was there also to congratulate me, and just a really special feeling.
And now that you're here at the Golf National as part of Team Europe, what's it like in that team room as a rookie?
It's been great. Obviously we are a few rookies, so that's maybe made it a bit easier for me, but I think all the experienced guys has been great, and so far we've had so much fun. So it's been pretty easy to get into the team, I feel like.
Okay, we'll open up to questions. Go mic 3.
What's your first memories of the Ryder Cup, and what exactly does it mean to you to be playing in the Ryder Cup?
I think when I got here on Monday and I just saw all the guys and we met up in the team room for the first time, I think that's probably when I realized I'm here. And before that, I felt like I was very relaxed. Didn't think too much about it, but then it hit me when I got here. On Monday.
Mic 1, please.
Sorry, first memory.
Yeah, that was my first memory of the Ryder Cup, and obviously it's very special to be a part of. It's something I've watched since I was 7-8 years old. So standing here now and being a part of the team is just a special feeling, and I guess a very proud moment for myself.
Mic 1 in the middle.
Torbjørn, hi. You know Thomas better than anyone in the team. You guys have a really great friendship that goes back a long way. Can you talk to us a little bit about that, and can you tell us how much you wanted to make this team for your first Ryder Cup once he was announced as captain?
Yeah, so I mean, ever since I got on the European tour, Thomas sort of took me under his wing and was a little bit of a mentor for me, and then we got really close friends ever since. Done a lot of different stuff together, and just spent a lot of time off the golf course. Not about golf, but just being really good friends. So obviously 2 years ago, when he got announced captain, and also being in Paris and stuff, it was definitely a big goal for me to try to achieve this and be a part of this team. That's why I feel like it's a really proud. I'm really proud of myself, of the way I handled things this summer and kept on going, and just been really proud of that.
We'll stay on mic 1.
Torbjørn, it seemed like you were a pretty popular guy last night in the picture with all of the ladies. Can you explain the genesis and how that picture came about last night?
Yeah, I didn't know. Obviously on my own this week. But the guy said it's a tradition, so obviously I had to jump in there and take that beautiful picture. So I was a pretty happy man for a few minutes.
Mic 3 on the right.
So Torbjørn, you were in Hazeltine, sort of driving Thomas's buggy. What can you sort of tell us from that? Any secrets you learned, or just what you learned from that experience that might help you this week?
Well, first of all, it's the toughest job I've ever had, for sure. Driving Thomas as captain was was difficult. He was very demanding, so I was running around. No, it was a great experience for me. You know, seeing behind the scenes, seeing what the captains do, vice captains, realize how tough of a job they actually have to pick the teams, and you know, standing on the first tee, seeing all that, I think is a good experience, and I think it can only help me for this week.
Mike 4 at the back.
Hi Torbjorn, you mentioned Hazeltine helping you for the first tee nerves. Is there any sense that Himmerland Hill will help your sort of experience of being in front of so many people?
Well, I think definitely this year at Silkeborg, I think that will help me because, like I said, it was a different kind of pressure, and I think I learned a lot about myself under that pressure, so I think that helps me. But yeah, playing in front of your home crowd and you know there's a lot of pressure on you, I think that will help, but again, I think it's going to be very, very different standing there on the first tee tomorrow, I'm sure. And I'm definitely going to be very nervous, no doubt about it. But I'll try to just embrace the moment and do my best. I enjoy being nervous, so I think that's a great feeling to have. So I'm looking forward whenever I'm standing on that first tee.
Mike 2 in the middle.
Yes, Torbjorn, you've had less time than almost anybody else to get used to the idea that you're playing this week. How do you find yourself reacting to the environment? Are you less nervous than you thought you'd be, more nervous? How do you find yourself reacting?
The last 2 weeks I was sort of preparing myself for being like very nervous and, you know, being a part of this, and I think Tuesday, maybe the first practice round on the 10th tee we started on, yeah, I was nervous. As soon as I hit that first shot, I was quite relaxed, and you know, like I said before, I think the experienced guys that's been here a lot has helped a lot, and the vice captains and captain has made it easy to come into the team. So so far I've been pretty relaxed.
Have you ever been nervous on a practice round before?
Yeah, I think when I played my first major, probably the Open, and I think at Masters also in Augusta when I played my first practice round. I think when you get on the first tee, you always have that little bit of nerve, and I think that's a good feeling to have. I feel every tournament I teed up first round on the first hole, I think I always get that nerve. I know it's going to be. I'm sure it's going to be very, very different this week, but like I said, I enjoy being nervous. I think that's a great feeling.
Mike 3, please.
I thought, well, you mentioned earlier that you're close friends with Thomas, and you sort of could you expand on the sort of things you do off the course with him? Because you just said you do stuff with him, but can you sort of go into a bit of detail about what you do? Is it football or any other things you do with him?
Yeah, everything. I mean, we both live in London. Go watch football, you know, dinners, everything really. Yeah.
I think Jim's question before was like, what's your first memory of the Ryder Cup as a youngster or off TV or something? I think that's what he was getting at.
Okay. Sorry. That's my English.
No, it's okay. So, yeah.
First memory, I think the K Club is probably what I remember the best. I was a little bit older also. I know I've seen a few before that, but I remember watching the K Club very clearly, and it was very emotional, and from what I saw, it felt like the crowds were amazing also, and it was just, for me a special Ryder Cup.
Mike 4, Ewan.
Torbjorn, firstly, what was the most menial errand that Thomas sent you on when you were his kart driver 2 years ago?
Sorry, say that again.
What was the most menial or strangest errand that Thomas sent you on when he was your kart driver? Or when you were his kart driver?
I don't know what the strangest thing was, but I definitely had to go into the clubhouse to get coffees a few times. And and more than a few times. And it was really, really difficult to get from the course into the clubhouse. There was, especially in a European car, I think it didn't make it easier to drive back and forth, and with quite a lot of people also. So yeah, that was probably the toughest about it. I'm not sure about the strangers. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, secondly, because you have such a good friendship with Thomas, was it important for you to qualify in your own right so that there could be no accusation that he was picking you as an old pals act?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it meant the world that I could qualify straight in, and it would have been a really tough decision for Thomas if it wasn't, because there were so many great players being outside, and yeah, I wouldn't know if I've qualified or would have got the pick or not. But yeah, I think it makes me feel better also being here as a rookie, making the team. I think I feel more confident, and yeah, I think it made it easier.
Mike, 2 on the left.
We heard a lot about jokes going around in the team environment. Has anyone played a joke on you?
There's been a few good videos, yeah. There's been some, yeah, there's been quite a few jokes. Obviously, also I'm on my own, so there's been a few jokes about that. Yeah, it's been a great atmosphere. It's been a lot of fun.
More.
Sorry?
Tell us more about it.
I don't think I want to go into too much details about it, but yeah, it was funny.
Have time for 2 more. Mike 3.
Torbjorn, is there one piece of advice that you've had this week that's been particularly helpful, and is there any senior player in particular that sort of played a leading role in helping you get ready for what's about to come?
I think the best thing is stick to your own routines and keep doing what you've done to make this team. That's what I've been trying to do these few days. Don't try to do anything differently, and don't try to overdo it. I spoke to a few different people about that. I had a nice conversation with Nicolas Colsers last week in Portugal also. Yeah, just don't be afraid to ask questions either. He was talking a lot about that. I think that's probably the 2 best advice.
Last question on Mike 4.
Torbjorn, I'm sure Thomas has plan A, B, C, D for what's going to happen this week. But if plan A worked, have you already been told how many times he expects you to play before the singles?
I'm sure he has. Yeah, a lot of different plans. No, I don't know 100% sure how many times I'm going to play. I don't.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Torbjorn, thank you for your
time.
Okay,
thank you.
Paul, thanks for your time. Welcome to the Media Centre.
Thank you.
So your first Ryder Cup in 10 years, and you made the decision earlier this year to rejoin the European Tour and stake your claim in joining this Ryder Cup side. What's it like finally being here at the Golf National?
Amazing. I made a decision almost 2 years ago. So to be sitting here now is very satisfying, very enjoyable. It was obviously the goal to make that team, but then it's now the goal is to win points. which I believe I can do. And I'm super excited for this week. I mean, to finally be here, I've seen all the images of what it was going to be like, that first tee, and to get a taste of it the last couple of days. Can't wait for tomorrow.
And what's it like pulling on that jersey again and being back in the team room?
It's very special. Yeah, it takes me. I think I've got more of an appreciation this time round. I've you know, taken notes this week and tried to be really pay attention to how special this is. To be wearing this and to be standing alongside my teammates and captain, vice captains, and everybody that supports us. Yeah, very proud and yeah, honoured to be donning the blue and gold, blue and yellow.
Fantastic. Open up some questions. We'll start on mic 4. Ewan.
Paul. It's been 10 years since you were last here. Has the Ryder Cup changed in the 10 years since you've got here? Has it surprised even you?
Yes. The only previous European Ryder Cup I played was the K Club, as you know, in '06, and the first tee wasn't like this one. I think just bigger scale. You know, the passion is still as intense. Yeah, it's just grander. It's just bigger. It's just been amped up. Yeah, I mean, I'll let you know. Ask me the same question again on Sunday, because so far we've just, you know, we haven't had the full experience yet.
Will the nerves be amped up as well? Do you think you'll feel the nerves more than ever because it feels that bit bigger?
I don't know. It felt really, I mean, felt great on the golf course yesterday. We had a small tasting of that first tee yesterday. It was really noisy. Who did I play with? Henrik, Torbjorn, and Tyrrell. And then when we walked off the tee and we looked back, after about 100 yards, we looked back, realised it was about 5% full. The noise would be a good thing. I mean, it's yeah. We're as a team, we're ready to embrace it, and we know that the vast majority of that noise is for us, which is a massive advantage. So will I be nervous? I think, yeah. I mean, I remember back to Ryder Cups I've played before, I was always nervous, and it'll be no different tomorrow. But that quickly subsides, and you get on with the match, and you get into it, and then it's all about winning points.
Mic 1, Cara.
Hey, Paul. I'm interested to know how you would describe your standing in the team. You've played Ryder Cups before, obviously, but not for a while.
Veteran.
But what's the difference, kind of, not just what the Ryder Cup's like, but being back in the team room after so long now with your Justin Roses, Rory McIlroys, who have 5 each under their belt, and then a new crop coming through?
My standing?
Are you giving out lots of advice, or are you sort of sitting back and soaking it up?
No, I'm playing a role on and off the golf course. To be honest, we have so much depth, let's say, in both those departments that I say, yeah, it's, you know, I'm doing my bit. Our guys are so good that, and our captain is so on top of things that not a lot needs to be done currently. It's all about getting ready for tomorrow. You know, I feel our rookies don't behave and look like rookies. They're already incredibly accomplished. Our veterans, guys who, like you've just mentioned, who have played, you know, 5 or more Ryder Cups, they know what they're doing. And you've got multiple guys in the team room who have say, I'm not the most experienced guy in the team room, even though I'm not the oldest actually. Yeah, so maybe I'm not a veteran yet, but I'm in a good position. I've got the attributes, I've got the tools to help guys, and I've got the tools and the attributes to play a different role with other team members.
Go far right, Paul. Mic 3.
Paul, when you say you're taking notes, is that like a personal diary you're making of this week, or what's you thinking?
Yeah, I don't have a diary, but yeah, just standing back and making sure I absorb this. You know, Ryder Cups in the past have gone so quickly, yeah, I just want to make sure I remember this. You know, this at 41, I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get to play another European-based Ryder Cup. So I don't want this to be my last European-based Ryder Cup, but plain and simple, at 41, it's got a chance that it is. So I just want to make sure I pay attention to it and enjoy it, deliver points, play my heart out, but appreciate what's going on at the same time.
Very back, Mike 4.
So, aside from delivering points, do you feel as if you've got maybe a point to prove? Are you more determined this time around because it's been 10 years?
No point to prove. No, I'm just here to play the golf I'm capable of, and see what that produces. We're playing against a brilliant US team. We have massive respect for them, and on paper, they're better than us on paper. So there's no point to prove. Just here to do my bit, and we'll see what happens.
Stay in the middle, Mike 1.
Paul, what did you miss the most?
What did I miss the most? The team part of the team element, the vibes in the team room. You just, yes, we hang out a lot on tour around the world when we're playing, but it's not the same. I miss putting on the clothes in the morning. I miss that first tee. I've missed a lot. I think the most is missing is the vibes, the team, the how close you get with these guys, and they always do become really good friends. Friendships always grow in this situation.
Right inside, Mike 3.
Paul, does the nature of this course provide home advantage for Europe, and how does the course suit your game in particular?
I think it does a little bit. The course definitely suits me. I drive the ball very well, and it's a ball strikes golf course. It's probably been documented. You've seen the rough out there. The fairway's not overly generous, and the rough is very penal. The greens are large, and positioning the ball on the correct side of the hole is going to be paramount. It's a definite advantage for us, I think. Our team certainly knows the course better than the Americans, and I think it suits my game very, very well. It's a different. I know the course, and I've always known where to hit it round here. Even for myself, though, it's different from what we've seen in French Opens. Just the lushness of what we're seeing and the preparation, the way it's set up. So that's been a little bit of learning the last couple of days, but I feel very, very happy and comfortable with it.
In the middle, Mike 2.
Paul, were there times where you felt like you'd never be in this position again, and how did you cope with those weeks, Ryder Cup weeks, when you were not here competing and maybe home watching on TV?
I think after I missed out in 2010, and I want to say my memory's vague, but 12 and 14, where I'd struggled with my game. Those were probably the times when I wondered and hoped if I'd play another one. If my form wasn't there. I remember really good relationship with McGinley, and wanting to play for him, but just wasn't playing nearly the golf I wanted to or needed to get close to making his team. Same with Ollie, and then missing out in 16, although not being eligible, not being a member of the European Tour. No, there was then I felt like I could and would. It was just a matter of when. Sorry, I can't remember the first part of your question. I've just thrown my mind back to him. Oh, how to cope? It's always one of those when you... I've always had ups and downs in my career. Whenever you're playing bad golf, you can never see kind of how to ever play good golf again. And when you're playing good golf, you can never understand how you ever played bad golf. So you just get on with it as a player, as an athlete. You just deal with it. I've always loved the work. And so when I struggled with my game in years sort of, 12 and 14 when I didn't make these teams, it was just a quest of let's get better. What do I need to work on? There are opportunities. It's never been an issue to deal with it. You just work through it. Did I watch them? Oh yeah, it's the best thing on TV. It's the greatest thing on TV.
Stay in the middle, Mike 2. Oh, okay. Mike 1, please.
Well, I don't have any statistics to back this up, but it just seems like over the last 30 or 40 years, at a Ryder Cup compared with a major, you see more spectacular, memorable, brilliant shots than you do bad moments. More rising than falling. If that's the case, why do you think that is?
The repercussions are only loss of hole if the shot doesn't come off, Doug. Plain and simple. I mean, thank goodness we're playing match play around this golf course this week. Wouldn't want to play stroke play around here. You would see defensive golf around here if it were stroke play this week, but you'll see spectacular stuff again this week. The golf course sort of demands it, really. The situation demands it. You know, 4 balls, for example, you have the opportunity, you can relax. You've got kind of an insurance policy standing next to you. I've always been, part of it I can't answer for you because guys are always nervous every day, especially Friday, and yet they always rise and they always perform brilliantly. And I'm sure we'll see the same tomorrow. You know, guys will be extremely nervous on that first tee with, I don't know, probably just shy of 10,000 people chanting and singing, and yet it'll be spectacular from the get-go. It's the nature of the Ryder Cup.
Right inside Mike 3.
Paul, just wondering if the notes you're taking are any part of being sort of useful if you were perhaps to be captain yourself one day, and if it's a simple no to that question, could you possibly compare how Thomas is doing compared to the other captains you've played under?
I don't know what you're talking about with that first part.
Neither did I, really.
Comparing Thomas it's very. I've never compared captains to each other because the 3 that I've previously played for have all been very different styles and all been brilliant in their own different way. I mean, you know, you're asking me to compare like Langer to Woozy. I mean, come on. But the result was the same. And how you captain, I don't know, I've never been a captain, but it's probably determined with the team you've got and what needs to be done. And Thomas has been brilliant. I won't compare him to the other 3 I've played for, but he's been absolutely brilliant. And every player is so up for this week. So wanting to play great golf, not only for their country and their continent, but for him, because of how hard he's worked and the energy that he's put into this. If I can say this, we all kind of, we love Thomas Bjorn and, cuddly Thomas. He's been absolutely fantastic.
Time for 2 more questions. Mike 4 at the back.
Yeah, Paul, can you talk about winning and losing? How does that color the week's experience for you guys?
How does winning and losing
color the experience of the week?
I think it's fairly black and white. It's why we're here, is to win. So these amazing dinners like we had last night and the grandeur, the opening ceremonies, it's all about the result at the end of the day. So that's all that matters. Yeah.
Last question, question 2.
Paul, this is obviously the last Ryder Cup before Britain leaves the EU. As an Englishman, the unity, the fans, it's particularly the English and British fans with European hats on and things. Do you personally find that heartening, or like the unity on display at such a tumultuous time for the country?
I hadn't even thought about it. I've got some. Hopefully, I've got some matches to play the next couple of days. So Sorry, I hadn't even thought about it.
Good to know you focused on the golf ball.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for your time.
Done?
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Allez, le bleu.
Stay here. Henrik, welcome to the Media Centre.
Thank you.
It's your 5th Ryder Cup, but pulling on the Team Europe jersey, that must feel like a brand new experience every time.
Yeah, it certainly never gets old. Yeah, it's a great honour to be part of Team Europe once again. Got some of my greatest memories and experience throughout the years in my golfing career playing for Europe. So excited to be here and being part of the team once again.
And it's been a few years since you played the Open de France, but have you quickly reacquainted yourself with the golf course?
Yeah, it's a great golf course. Haven't played, I think, since 2012, but yeah, I know this course really well. I played it many times over the years, so didn't take a lot of golfing around here to remember it and get familiar with it once again.
Thanks. Welcome up to some questions from the floor. Mike 4 at the back.
Hi Henrik, what do you make of the inflation of the first tee, and is there a limit to how nervous you can get, or do they keep ramping it up with the bigger stadiums?
Well, I guess we can answer that question a little bit later in the week, a bit easier. I think everyone's going to feel that first tee, and that's normal for the Ryder Cup, and given the size and the setup we have here this week, which looks absolutely phenomenal, it's going to be something different, something special. So I expect everyone to feel a little bit of gel in the legs walking down to that first tee.
Do you ever sort of wonder what's going to come next, given how quickly it's sort of graduated from sort of 2006 when it was quite small behind the first tee?
Well, 2006 to 2018 is still a little bit. There's a few years in there, so I don't know. It might be at least another 20 years before we got floating stands in the sky or something. I don't know, but it's certainly gone bigger and bigger, and the atmosphere on that first tee is phenomenal. So yeah, really excited to see what that's going to be like.
Microphone 3.
Hi, Henrik. Just a question about the WhatsApp group that you guys have got going. You're known for
Next question.
You're known for your humour. Are you front and centre of the banter, or if not, is a particular person who sort of dominates it?
I guess I can say I've participated, and it's probably best if it stays behind closed doors. Yes.
Mike 1 in the middle.
Henrik, when you reflect back on hitting the first shot at Glen Eagles, what are some of your memories that stick out, and did the experience match or exceed what you had thought it would be coming into that moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very different experience playing home matches compared to away matches. Of course, in one you have most of the crowd on your side, and of course the opposite on the other one. So yeah, Glen Eagles was a very cool experience, and being down there on the first tee with Justin and playing away on Friday morning in front of the crowd was yeah, something I will always remember, and I'm sure we'll have similar experiences here for everyone in the team. So yeah, at this point I guess we can't wait to get going.
Stay on this side, Mike 2.
Every week you play for yourself as an individual, and then you play for a lot of money, but this week you play for a team and no money. How does it mean for your motivation? Is it different?
I mean, growing up, some of the early memories in my golfing career was from watching the Ryder Cup and watching my heroes play in this event. So it was always a motivating thing for me to try and make this team. And I had that dream come true in 2006, and yeah, it's just an amazing week. You bond with your teammates in a totally different way compared to what you do out on tour and on the regular tour, and you just build a special bond this week, and something you take with you for the rest of your career. So you represent your country, your continent. You play for your teammates. It's just a different dynamic compared to being out there in an individual sport and playing for yourself every week.
Right hand side, mic 3.
Henrik, how bad was the elbow injury, and were you ever concerned it would prevent you from either getting a wild card or playing here at all?
Yeah, it's been dragging on a bit, but I've been for the most part I've been fit enough to play competitive golf, and it's been probably more a hinder in the gym and not being able to do certain things and having to watch that a bit, but. We hope that it's going to be completely gone there in a while, and we're just managing it, and it doesn't really affect my golfing capabilities at this point. So it's just something we hope we can leave behind us shortly.
But with it sort of still gone ongoing this week, are you likely to play all 5 matches, or possibly?
How much we play and so forth. We got a very strong and deep team, and I think it's a possibility of playing potentially a bit less than previous matches, but we'll see. It's still early doors, and we'll see what the pairings are going to be like.
In the front here, mic 4.
Hi, Henrik. Justin yesterday spoke about how delighted he was that you were on this team and the relationship that you two have, and also your two caddies.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Can you talk about that partnership and how keen you'd be to play with him this week?
Yeah, we teamed up together at Glen Eagles and had tremendous success in that partnership. We didn't do quite as well in Hazeltine, but we still played well together. I think it's just having that trust when you're playing with a good friend and someone you've been out and playing with a lot. You trust him, and also the part of feeling no regrets when you do hit a bad shot and you do miss, because that will happen, and it's just how you move on from there and not being too caught up in that part of it. So trust and chemistry is important in the team formats, and we all know that Justin and I got a good partnership, and we hope we can play well when we're playing.
Stay on this side, mic 3.
Henrik, it's not every day you get to go for your dinner in the Palace of Versailles. Could you maybe talk about the experience last night and what, just how much the Ryder Cup gives you experiences and memories off the golf course as well as on it?
You're very thorough if you know my dinner plans every evening, don't you? It was a very special evening, of course, having the team dinner in the palace, and then it all finished off with fireworks, and we got to see some family and friends that were also at the dinner. So Paris and Versailles, it doesn't get any better than that. It's a city of the world, and to have the Ryder Cup here has been very special experience, and it gives you the opportunity to do things like that. So I think it's been great so far.
Mic 4 at the back.
Can you compare the pressure of trying to win a major championship on Sunday to what it's like here at the Ryder Cup on Sunday?
Yeah, I guess in many ways it's similar. You got to play well down the stretch and handle yourself under big pressure. I made a kind of a winning putt in 2006, but it was not. It was a big wave of blue across K Club at that time. So I haven't been in the situation that Martin Keimer's been, or Paul McGinley had the winning putt at the Belfry, and it's been others that's been in a much more tense situation or important situation that I was in 06. So yeah, I guess we'll see. We might be in that position this week, and since I managed to do the one part of the question, we'll see if I can answer that on Sunday.
Mike 4 in the corner.
Henrik, Bubba Watson yesterday revealed that most of the American camp are battling something. He's shattered and exhausted and taking medicine for a heavy cold. Is that good to know for the European camp? Give you some sort of an edge over them, knowing that they're struggling against germs?
I mean, I think at this part of the season, it's been a lot of golf being played, and we all know that a lot of the players coming straight here from playing in America and playing a long FedEx Cup stretch. So yeah, some are going to be a bit fatigued and a bit battered, but you know, there's a lot of players that had to make the journey across, myself included, and jet lag is one thing that you have to fight against as well. So I would imagine everyone's got a little bit of something that they have to fight. But yeah, it's a draining week this week, and you're running on adrenaline, but at the same time you can hit the wall at some point. So yeah, we'll see Sunday which team is the strongest and who's got the battle the least colds, I guess.
And being Swedish, do you have any particular remedies to fight off colds? I should imagine you get quite a few up there.
Well, that's why I reside in the Florida sunshine. That was the only reason I went there, to get away from all the colds. I did one kind of cold at least.
Mike 2 on the left, Henrik.
Henrik, as one of the veterans in the team room, have you given any advice to the rookies in terms of how to handle the nerves and emotions that they're going to encounter over the next couple of days?
Well, I think the more experienced players might have just spoken a few words of advice on. Everyone's nervous. You're gonna feel nervous walking to that first tee. It's natural, and just be prepared to expect that. And then when it comes to playing, as we know in match play and seen at the WGC match play, sometimes you might need to shoot 9 under to have a chance to win a match. Another time you can be 1 over and win. So yeah, it might be easy to think in your own mind that you need to play perfect and you need to play your best golf to have a chance to win matches. But I'd say if you play solid golf, you're probably going to win more than you lose. So yeah, just take down that little bit of pressure that you might feel like you need to perform at your absolute best. That's not always the case, and just go out there and play your game and try and do a good performance, and that will most likely get you the point.
Right hand side, Mike 3.
Hi, Henrik. You're one of the go-to guys for the first match on a Friday morning. Do you relish that, and do you want that to be the case this week as well? Do you still relish that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to be out on Friday morning, and yeah, it's gonna be a very, very intense experience for whoever is out there on the first tee on Friday morning. Pairings are not out yet, so we'll see who those 8 players will be on Friday morning.
Mike 4.
Along those lines, on Friday morning, of the 4 team sessions, is Friday morning perhaps the most important because it sets some kind of a tone for the rest of the week?
Yeah, it is an important. That is the starting point, and both teams wants to get off to a quick start and kind of get a grip on things early. But it's not. I mean, we had a poor opening session in Hazelton, to say the least. But then we kind of battled back from there on. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's done and over with just because you have a good opening session. But it certainly sets the tone, and in any sport, you don't want to let the opposition get a good start and get a good grip of it early. So yeah, we're gonna be ready to go out and play good from the beginning.
Mike 2 in the middle.
Henrik, what did you make of Tiger Woods' performance in the Tour Championship on Sunday, and the fact that 2 of Europe's top players weren't really able to put any pressure on him at all? Does that have any impact on the morale in the camp at all this week?
No, I don't think so. Obviously, all credit to Tiger to go out there and win the Tour Championship. He's had a great comeback, and as long as the body was holding up, I think everyone was thinking that was a possibility, and all credit to him for making that happen. So yeah, I guess for Justin the main goal was achieved in winning the FedEx Cup from the position he was in, and yeah, Rory might have wanted a slightly different Sunday, but that's golf, and that was last week, so I don't think any of that will matter this week.
Last question on the right, Mike 4.
Henrik, my memory's not what it used to be, but I seem to recall in 2006, was there a bit of a debate who actually did hold the winning putt because so many matches were close to finishing? Did you have to?
I hold the winning putt. There's no debates.
Did you have to battle to argue with somebody to make that clear?
There wasn't many big arguments about that. If someone else makes claims for it, I'm happy to give it away, because it didn't really matter in the end. We won, and that's all that matters. It's a team event. I was told it was me, but if you got some other information, you know.
So I can't remember. I'm sure it was close between matches finishing.
If there's anyone with other information, I'll meet you behind the media centre later on, okay? And we'll iron these things out. Like I said, it was always going to be Europe at K Club there on that Sunday afternoon. So I hope we can have a similar argument after this match here in Paris, and we can argue who hold the winning putt on Sunday, and I'll be happy to give it away to someone who finished long before me.
On that note, Henrik, thanks for your
time.
time.
All right, thank you so much.